Let's get it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the SchuZ Show. I hope you guys are having a phenomenal Tuesday. Now, if you guys are tuning in on a Wednesday, hopefully you guys are off to a great start on Wednesday as well. With that being said, though, just want to make sure we have good audio going on. So, yes, we're all good to go. So, with that being said, though, today's show obviously is not going to feature a guest. It's a late night edition of the show. And what I am going to be getting into on tonight's show is this. We'll be talking about some boxing news and go along those lines. I don't think it's going to be a very long episode tonight, but just going to keep you guys up to date on all the boxing news going down in the boxing world right now. As always, if you guys have any comments, questions, or topics that you guys want me to address on the show today, leave it in the chat. I'll make sure to address that. Also, your comments will pop up on the chat or on the show, so you guys can make sure to check it out there as well. Without a shadow of doubt, let's get right to it. The very first thing I want to ask is a question that was proposed on social media over the past 24 hours. And it comes following a face-off between Teofimo Lopez and Richardson Hitchins that went down this past weekend, the Danny Garcia fight. And so I asked you guys this question. Would you prefer Teofimo Lopez and a Richardson Hitchins unification fight, or would you prefer to go see Teofimo Lopez go out there and face Shakur Stevenson? You know, we've been led on to believe that Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez would go and fight each other early 2026. All the reports, the rumors, both guys have seemingly seemed to say that this is going to happen. And now we're in an interesting predicament where it appears that Teo has not signed off on the Shakur fight yet. We don't know what Teo is going to be doing. And so we're in this interesting situation right now. So I want to hear you guys' thoughts. Leave it in the comments, whatever it is. Do you guys want to go out there and see Teo face Shakur Stevenson or Hitchins? Hitchins obviously being for unification. Shakur obviously the bigger name in this fight business. But who do you want to see? Now, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on this. If I were to pick between the two different options right here, and I were Teofimo Lopez, I'm going to go with the Hitchins fight. Here is why. If you are Teofimo Lopez, you are coming off of a very good performance on the Cinco de Mayo weekend in New York Times Square. Beautiful performance. But you've allowed your mouth to run a little bit too much once again, and you've gotten yourself into a position where you've lost out on a lot of big fights. If you were to take the Shakur Stevenson fight, this would be a fight that if he were to have won, would mean a lot. It would show just how elite Teofimo Lopez is. Here's the problem. Myself, I think the majority of boxing fans do not believe that in a fight between Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez, that Teo would emerge victorious. Maybe, but odds are quite high in my eyes that Teofimo Lopez would lose to Shakur Stevenson. With that being the case, that would be a bad look for Teo. Not necessarily a horrible look, but a look from the standpoint of saying Shakur moved up in weight class, took your belt from you, now you're no longer a world champion. Where do you go from here? For Hitchins, Teofimo Lopez is the obvious favorite in this fight. He is the man that could go out there, beat Hitchins in a fight, in my opinion, quite easily as well. And if you are Teofimo Lopez, you're now looking at a position where you are now the unified champion at 140. And you're inching closer to possibly going for undisputed at 140. The Shakur Stevenson fight would be even bigger at that point in time if you could go back and make that fight happen, so on and so forth. So if you are Teofimo Lopez, and the offer is on the table for you to go out there and fight Shakur Stevenson, or to go out there and fight Richardson Hitchins, that is the fight I would take. Not saying that I'm the biggest fan of it. If I were Shakur Stevenson, I want Teofimo Lopez, but as I've said all along, I don't feel like this is a situation that would make a lot of sense for Teo. I think he would lose to Shakur Stevenson. I don't think he would go out there and win. Then you're looking at a position where you're no longer the champion. So yes, if I'm Teofimo Lopez, I'm taking the Richardson Hitchins fight if that offer is truly on the table. Now, you got to get moving on your career. You cannot keep waiting out. So this fight better be close to being agreed upon. But if in early 2026, you have a chance to go out there and fight Hitchins in a unification fight, emerge as a man that has two of the belts at 140, inching closer to a unified or undisputed champion at 140, whatever the case may be, and can then go back and try fighting Shakur if you still want that fight, that is the path to take if you are Teofimo Lopez. It makes the most sense financially and for your career. That's what I would do if I'm him. But I want to know your guys' thoughts. Would you rather see Teofimo Lopez face Shakur Stevenson or Hitchins? I want to know your guys' thoughts because I know it's obviously a very big debated topic right now. I want to know what you guys think on that one. The next thing I want to get into is this. Dana White and Eddie Hearn continue to go back and forth. You know what? I'm not somebody that really enjoys drama too much. But at the same time, I'm not somebody that's blind to the benefit of there being drama within the sport of boxing. Boxing is an unorganized, unorthodox sport. And what do I mean by that? It is that there doesn't need to be structure for it to work well. Boxing is the most unstructured professional sport in all the world. There is no structure. It is chaotic. You have champions all over the place. You got all kinds of weird stuff going on. Boxing is a chaotic sport that nobody can seem to grab hold of and control. Very weird sport in that sense. And when you have this situation, what fuels the sport? Drama. We see it time and again when we talk about two top fighters fighting each other in the build-up process. Drama builds big fights. But how about on the flip side, for the promoters? When we have big drama going on between the promoters, boxing seems to be at a better place. We saw it for many years in the UK. Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn simply did not like each other. That back and forth was something that kept boxing fans very entertained, especially coming out in the UK. And then Turki Al-Sheikh got involved and unified everybody and united them, and we got lots of great fights, and I love that. But at the same time, we've been missing that spice between the promoters. We just haven't seen it anymore. Dana White comes into play now. You insert Dana White into the picture of boxing, and all of a sudden you see Oscar De La Hoya taking shots, you see Eddie Hearn taking shots. Frank Warren's been quite quiet, and Ben Shalom has not talked much either, and rightfully so. But the point is, we're starting to see beef happening. Now, Oscar De La Hoya will always run his mouth about anybody. He always keeps it interesting. But Eddie Hearn is what's really interesting right now. He's been quite quiet in terms of the drama aspect in boxing for the past better part of 2 years. All of a sudden, you look at his X account, and we're seeing countless back and forth with Dana White. Dana White's now responding to Eddie Hearn, and all I can say is this. When we have two of the biggest promoters in all the sport going back and forth, it is better for the sport of boxing. The health of the sport improves. Why? Because there's more eyes on the sport. More people are able to go out there and talk about the beef. These two guys are going to be battling. There's more competitive nature. Both guys want to prove the other man wrong, and as boxing fans, there's more to talk about. In this crazy little sport we follow in boxing, when there is beef between these promoters, it is better for the health of the sport. Whether you like it or not, it is better. And so I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know who Turki Al-Sheikh is going to side on because he's been very close with Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren, those people, for quite some time. Obviously, Dana White's now in the mix, and I don't know anything that's going to happen at this point in time. But what I'm excited to see is these two guys going out there, and I'm excited to see what this fight ends up looking like between these two guys, and hopefully it makes for the betterment of the sport. Let's go to the comments. I see somebody commenting right now. Let's see what we got going on. You don't know anything about boxing. All right, why do you say that? I'm very interested to see about that. Actually, I have boxed, so that's actually a lie right there. You just repeat what you hear. That's actually not accurate at all. I'm not really sure what I'd be repeating, but that's a very interesting thought to have. So yes, you supposedly say I have never boxed. That's actually inaccurate. So there's that aspect. We can throw that out of the way. You don't know anything about boxing. What do I say that's wrong then? Let me know about that. I'd be very inclined to know what you want to say right there. And then on top of that, you just repeat what you hear. Interesting. I'm not really sure why you think that. I don't really repeat anything I hear. I put notes right here in this thing, and then we go from there. No, I've not professionally boxed in my career, but I do train. I have sparred. There's different types of things as well. But actually, I'm considering making a debut next year or something along those lines. But either way, if you are the mindset you have to do a sport and you have to be great at the sport, whatever the case may be, for you to be able to talk about the sport, that's very foolish. Most trainers that we have in boxing have never boxed a day in their life, and yet we have some of the best trainers in all the world. All right, so you keep saying you don't know anything about boxing, but as I said, let me know. What do I say that you so disagree about that you think I don't know about boxing? That's totally fine. It's your own opinion. I've got no problem with that whatsoever, man. I just want to know what you think about that. We'll see what you got here. So yes, and also I want to go back to what you were saying. If you think that you have to box or you have to play basketball, whatever the case may be, at a high level for you to talk about the sport, that's one of the foolish things to say out there. Just keep it 100% honest with you, man. I don't think why anyone would want to believe that's actually inaccurate. Stick to golf. I have never golfed a day in my life, nor talked about it. Man, what I'm intrigued by this, actually, man. I appreciate you for tuning in. No problem to that. And baseball, I've never done either one of those two sports a day in my life. But I'm interested, man. What's your problem with me? All due respect, I have no problem with you commenting right now. I appreciate you for tuning into the show. But I got no problem with you. Just interested to hear what you have to say right now. But it seems like you don't seem to like me too much. So that's totally your opinion. Not sure if you subscribe to me or not, but I appreciate you for tuning in. It actually means a lot. And also hopping in the chat. God bless you, man. But you seem to have something against me. I'm not sure who you're a fan of. If that is maybe a Teofimo Lopez fan or something along those lines. But what's your problem with that? And also I want to go back to what you said before. What have I said that you so disagree with? That's my question to you. You said I know nothing about boxing. So what is it? What do I truly say that you think I don't know anything about boxing? What do I say is inaccurate? You say I just repeat what I hear. I don't know how that even would be possible. I don't spend much time on social media going back and repeating what anybody says. I don't watch boxing shows or commentary. So that's an interesting comment to make right there. Stick to baseball. I told you, don't do that, so I'm not really sure what you're talking about. As I said, though, what is your problem with me, man? I truly do 8-ball wisdom. I don't know who you are, if you're man or woman, whatever you are, but I'm actually inclined to hear why you want to come out here and say these things. It's very interesting. I've got no problem. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It is what it is, but very interesting stance. Stick to baseball. All right. As I said, can you repeat one more time? I just want to know what you thought. What do I say that you don't like? What do I say that makes you think I don't know boxing? And if you want to go out there and say that, I would love to hear what you have to say. But I do have a pretty confident feeling that I watch more boxing than you do. I watch boxing. If it is anything that's on televised, whether that's in Australia, Japan, America, whatever it is, I'm up watching all hours of the day. I've probably watched, I don't even know how many fights. I watch the entire fight cards as well. So also I step foot and I do box, I do train. So honestly, I'm not really sure where you want to stay on that standpoint. All right, so you don't want to answer any questions. It appears you're somebody that just wants to go out there and keep saying things. Just because you watch box. Okay, apparently you're not hearing any word that I say. Interesting to me. Boxing's not your thing. Stick to MasterChef. All right, man, this is actually hilarious. God bless you, brother. I don't know what your problem is right now. I think this is actually hilarious, and I do appreciate you. In case you're not well aware, the more comments you put in there, the more it helps the stream. So I actually appreciate you for that one. You're a tennis kind of guy. That's interesting. So question for you, man. How often do you watch boxing, and do you actually professionally box? Are you a professional boxer? And if so, good to know. Let me know about that. But also want to go back to, you're not seeming to answer any questions. All you want to do is just go out there and try making fun of me. All these are, by the way, horrible jokes. Like, honestly, stick to swimming. God, there's not even proper grammar. You don't even know how to spell these words right. Boxing, your thing, not your thing. And you spell you are. You are a tennis kind of guy. This is horrible grammar. But I'm not sure what exactly you're trying to go after me about. You can slam me. I really could care less, to be quite frankly honest with you. But I want to know, you won't answer any question I'm currently asking. I've said it countless times. First of all, since when in the history of anything do you have to do the certain thing to actually be able to talk about it? That makes absolutely no sense to begin with. Sure, it provides an interesting insight, but interesting comment on that standpoint. Secondly, you obviously have not heard one thing I've said about training about boxing, knowing about boxing, any of those aspects. And I would love to know your theory, your background and history in the sport of boxing. You will not answer that question either. And then you're just throwing random shots at me, which I could genuinely care less about. I think it's actually hilarious. And like I said, if you're going to trash talk, can you at least do it with proper grammar? Like, seriously, man. Stick to Master Chef guy? What does that even mean? You literally don't realize how much of a nerd you sound like? All right, man, you got to probably learn how to do better grammar, as I said. At least you're improving a little bit with that statement right there. But how much of a nerd you sound like. And I once again say this, I generally could care less. I actually enjoy this type of thing. I appreciate you for coming on tonight and doing this. It makes the day a lot better. But I just want to know, you won't answer a single question. Your biggest thing you want to do is come out here, make random comments, and then you don't even want to back it up with any facts. So I'm sure you probably are a little kid, or somebody that's not upset, or somebody probably hurt your feelings tonight. And if so, God bless you, man. Man, you are listing a lot of white sports. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's kind of funny. But I get your point. You look at me, you think I'm white. You have no idea who I am, what I do, and yet you want to come out here and go back and forth. I appreciate stick to rowing. You know, I've never watched the sport before, but that's interesting. I love this back and forth. Once again, man, let me just say this. The more comments you do, the better it does for the stream. And I'm not sure if you even subscribe to me or not. I really don't have any idea. But hopefully you are enjoying the night, just coming out here and trying to come out here and think that you're going to hurt my feelings or something. I genuinely think this is amazing. But this is awesome. I just hope you're having a good night, man. God bless you. Praying for you real quick. You think I'm white? I literally never said that. I said these are just sports that you're obviously trying to hint at me for saying that I'm white. But it is what it is. I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're a man or woman. You won't answer any question I ask you. However, all I'm going to say is this. I appreciate you tuning in, man. God bless you. I hope you have a phenomenal day and phenomenal night, whatever the case may be. No hard feelings. Obviously, I did something to upset you. I genuinely don't know what I possibly said, but hopefully you get it all put out of you. Enjoy. God bless you, man. And you know what? I'm going to continue on with this show because while this is fun and it's helping a lot of great stuff, I just hope you have a great rest of your night, man. God bless you. You love black fighters, don't you? I'll be honest with you. To actually answer that question, that's actually a great point right there. You love black fighters, don't you? You know what I love? I love great people that are great athletes. I've gotten the blessing of knowing so many great athletes out there, man. And I'm just going to keep it 100% honest with you. Yeah, some are black, some are white, some are Hispanic. It doesn't matter to me, to be honest with you. No, I don't prefer one race or the other. I don't know why anyone would even care about doing those things. That's weird. But what I will say is this: I've had the blessing of interviewing countless different guys and talking with people from all different cultures, all different races, all different ethnicities, you name it. And I love them all. I love talking to guys. So I love boxing. I love watching it. And I appreciate you for tuning in once again. Every comment you make only makes the show grow a little bit more. So I appreciate you, man. And like I said before, God bless. I don't know what I did to you, but I hope you have a great rest of your night. So God bless you, man. Hey, Cornelius, I appreciate that, man. Hey, man, I enjoy your videos. Keep up the great work. I really liked your interview with the WBA junior middleweight champ. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Appreciate you for tuning in as well, Cornelius. I hope you have a great night as well, man, and I appreciate for the support and tuning in. So we're going to hop back into the show. As I just wrapped up talking about, the Dana White, Eddie Hearn drama, that's all going down. But I also want to give you guys some of the boxing news. Lawrence Okolie and David Adeleye are set to return in separate heavyweight bouts in Nigeria on December 19th. All right. This is a very interesting aspect that I want to get into right now. These two guys are intriguing heavyweight prospects. Now, Okolie obviously coming off of a lackluster performance, and now he's starting to bounce back, hopefully come back from his injury. He'll be returning in December, supposedly. Here's what I'm going to be inclined to see. Who are these two guys fighting? That has not been announced yet. What we do know is that these two guys will be on the same card. If you were to ask me, here's what I would say. I would want these two guys to fight each other. I think that would make the most sense, and I'd love to see these two guys go out there and fight each other. I don't think we're going to see it happen. They're probably just going to go out there and do tune-up fights, but those two guys will be on the same card in Nigeria on December 19th. The Bakhram Murtazaliev-Josh Kelly purse bid hearing, initially set for Tuesday, has been postponed by a week following a mutual agreement among all parties involved. This is good news. I know when the postponements happen, sometimes people get a little bit skeptical about what's going down right now. However, these two guys, I do believe, are nearing an agreement on a deal. Josh Kelly wants that big fight. Bakhram needs the fight. And I think we're going to see these two guys come to a conclusion. We're going to have a fight announced within the next week or two. So stay tuned there. Obviously, that's going to be a huge fight right there. Bakhram will obviously take care of business against Josh Kelly, I believe. But it's a fight to get Bakhram back in the ring after he's been outside of the ring in what will be one calendar year this weekend. So good to see him hopefully back in the ring. Nonito Donaire will face Andrés Campos for the WBA interim bantamweight title on June 14th in Argentina. Donaire obviously going to go out there. He's making his return. He's already fought a couple times this year. Good to see him back in the ring. He'll be making a fight now for the WBA interim title. Michael Hunter, he's going to return to the ring against Eli Frankham on December 5th at your call. I'm going to take a second and talk about this. This right here is disappointing. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. Michael Hunter had a beautiful opportunity against Jarrell Miller to fight on the Canelo Bud Crawford undercard, or at least that night before the fight. And Don King got involved and screwed it all up. Now, I don't know if Jarrell Miller would have fought either way. I don't know what will happen. There's a lot of ifs and situations behind closed doors that happen behind that fight right there. That being said, what I'm going to say about this is this aspect. Michael Hunter has got talent, but he's quickly aging. His entire career, I feel like, has just been a mess from what it could have been. His potential is massive. I like Michael Hunter. He's a good fighter, good heavyweight, but he's not fighting the top guys. And I feel like in the heavyweight division with so many great names to go out there and fight, him sticking around out there and not fighting big names is disappointing. And so he's going to go fight at your call against Eli Frankham. You had Jarrell Miller in the bag, but that's why it's so critical to have the right managers and promoters behind you. If you don't do that, you're going to set yourself up for failure, and we're seeing that currently unfold right now with Michael Hunter's career. I see another comment from Cornelius. Going to pull it up right now. Nobody wants to fight Bakhram. He's the boogeyman of the junior middleweight division. Amen. 100% agree with that comment right there. And here's the interesting part. I'm going to talk about two sides of this. I do 100% agree with you. He is the boogeyman, but you have to remember there's two aspects to this, the business side as well. When you talk about Bakhram, everybody knows that he is one of, if not the most feared man in the division. No debating that. You could make a very good case that he is the best. Now, 154 is the best weight class in all boxing. I firmly stand upon that. Obviously, people can have a debate for Virgil. You can have a debate for Boots Ennis, Sebastian Fundora. You obviously have all these different guys right now, 154, Bas Barao. The list goes on. You have so much depth at 154. But for a lot of these guys, there's so many big paydays. And let's be honest, Bakhram is not a massive payday. When he fought Tim Tszyu, they did not sell out really well. They fought in a small little area. It's not somebody that sells great tickets. And so when you are a fighter and you're looking at a man like Bakhram Murtazaliev, you have an interesting predicament. Unless you really want to go for undisputed and you want that world championship fight, you're going to have to go to a position where, okay, I'm taking a Bakhram fight. I'm not going to get paid a lot of money, and I'm going to go fight somebody that's a bad, bad man. So I can understand why guys don't want to fight him, but at the same time, this is boxing. You want to fight the best. And for some reason, Bakhram can't land those other fights. For guys that are trying to up-and-comers, want to go fight for world championships, they need to do whatever it takes to get that belt. If you are Sebastian Fundora, if you are any of the champions, obviously it's switched off a little bit now in the past calendar year, but anyone that's a champion at 154 should want that man. And that's the guys why I will back up the statement you said. He is the boogeyman. Every other guy at 154 needs to go after and go fight Bakhram, and hopefully we get one of those big unification fights in 2026. But appreciate your comment again, Cornelius. All right, last main topic on tonight's show is this. Chris Bellum-Smith has pulled out of the ordered interim WBO cruiserweight title fight against Roman Fres after not confirming his participation in the bout during the designated time period. SCS Promotions won the rights to the fight last week with a bid of $156,921. Bellum-Smith, promoter boxer, did not bid on the fight. The WBO will now order Fres the next available contender for the interim title. Okay, I'm not shocked by this at all. In fact, I literally said this was probably going to happen on last week's show when CES won the bid. Here's why. If you're Chris Bellum-Smith, you are at the cruiserweight division, which, let's be honest, does not have a lot of money behind it. Obviously, they want to fight for $156,921. Not a lot of money right there. But when you're Chris Bellum-Smith, you have only a handful of guys that are worth your time. Roman Fres, quite frankly, was not that guy. Zurdo is worth your mile. So is Jaya Pataya. You could make a debate that Badu Jack or Noel McMillan, or you could say whoever wins that fight in the rematch, those guys are worth your time. They have belts and they have money. Roman Fres was a man that you're going to go out there, barely get paid for. Sure, you're the interim, but you're, once again, barely getting paid money. It makes no sense. So for Chris Bellum-Smith, this was never a fight I saw him taking. The interim status does not matter to him. He has to know. We already have to remember this. Jaya Pataya was trying to get Chris Bellum-Smith and have that fight happen, but they couldn't get the step-aside set in place. So Chris Bellum-Smith has a chance to have a big fight landed with a guy like Jaya Pataya or the winner Badu Jack, Noel McMillan, maybe even, and I doubt this will happen, but I don't know what Zurdo would do if he does a tune-up fight. I highly doubt they do a rematch again because he beat down Chris Bellum-Smith earlier when they fought, but you never know what's going to happen. The point is this. I'm not shocked this went down. Chris Bellum-Smith will have to go fight a bigger opponent, maybe move up to heavyweight at some point in time. But yes, this is the problem with cruiserweight division. Not a lot of good fighters, not a lot of depth, not a lot of money. When you're in that situation, it's a tough, tough business to be in for a fighter. This is the predicament that a lot of these guys got themselves placed into, and so that's the situation for CBS. But with that being said, though, I appreciate each and every single one of you guys for tuning in tonight's show. I don't see any more comments. For Cornelius, I appreciate you, man, for tuning in, the support. God bless you, man. Hope you have a great rest of your guys' day. And same for you. 8-Ball Wisdom. Once again, I don't know what your problem is, but hopefully you got whatever your problem is with out there. And I hope you have a great night, man. I appreciate you for tuning in. I appreciate you for all the comments in the chat. You kept it active tonight. God bless, man. I appreciate the back and forth. It was a lot of fun. So God bless you guys all. Have a great rest of you guys' night. I'll be back live tomorrow, and I will be announcing that guest on tomorrow's show. So make sure to tune in for that one. You guys are not going to want to miss it. But may God bless you guys all. Have a great rest of you guys' night. I'll be back tomorrow. SchuZ out. God bless you guys.